Welcome back to Still Plays Galaxy of Heroes. This is Grand Arena, the second match of Season 73. First round was an expected loss. JRX was arguably the top account in the bracket, but I'm really happy about how this one went. Because I didn't think I was going to be able to clear this guy. I was very concerned that I had too many teams placed on defense, and I wasn't going to have enough to counter his specific offense, especially with all the changes to Datacrons. And we did get a bunch of holds here, so Maul picking up an attempt in the lower territory. I think this one is one shot, yeah. And the back one we have a couple more, where Lord Vader takes 3 attempts, and we have 2 with Trench, and I think Fleet to the Executor took a few. Yeah, the Executor took 3 attempts to go down. But with his defense, with the types of teams that he had, he's highly active with the new Datacron set. Some really interesting footage just to try and explore what's going to work, what's not going to work with how things are going to be changing this season. So there's actually a lot to learn from this battle. So I'm happy we were able to get through it with what we had. Today's matchup is up against Chewie here, 11.4 million GP. This is the smallest account in the bracket. He's a 7GL player. He is light on Zetas, light on Amis. Possible spender trying to get caught up with this account right now. Relic units a little bit higher than me, so beating me on one metric. Lower on the tier totals though. We see a whole bunch of tier 5 relics. He's okay at tier 7, tier 8, tier 9. I have advantages with the 6-stop mods. This is another data point that shows he probably just hasn't been around as long. But that doesn't mean we need to get overconfident here. This is going to be a tough opponent and a tough clear. He's already gone, so I already know how his battle went. He is beating me on the average with the top 25, but way below on the top 500, and we see that in the counts. He's got 71 on the 25 plus, 20 plus though we're beating him by 130, and by 300 on the 15 plus. So I'm guessing he's doing a lot of rerolls to push the top 25 counts, just because he hasn't been around as long to build up some of these inventories without using a lot of calibrations. Datacrons, he is a pretty solid participator, but I'm beating him. He is without Pirate Hondo, Ahsoka, and JMK. Looking at the rest of this here, we got a single Ami on Melgus, double on Starkiller. We got these other ones, Afra, not at all. Swallow at 299 speed with a single. Then we are looking at no Jar Jar. We got triple Amis on Bo, double Bane, double Cadme, single on Luthen, double Jocasta, not even engaging with the fugitive mercenaries. We got double on Exile, triple Rey, Balin not at all. And he does have Morgan, that's solid. He does have Zalbar, but no Night Trooper, which I think is mandatory. Like, he doesn't function as intended without it. I mean, that's not true. He still functions. He's actually a pretty good character, but he's just much better with it. What it does is it prevents him from losing Blight. So you're able to get some high stacks of Blight to start throwing around. It makes it much easier, whereas otherwise he could heal and then you're losing your stacks of Blight that you've accumulated. It just makes him much more consistent. Maul here, blah blah blah. And he's without Leviathan, and he is low stars on Profundity and Executor. But we need to take him seriously, because this guy is somebody who cleared my board, because I believe he's going a full offense strategy. Now looking at his modding, getting the quality here, okay, there's Swallow at 299, so he's gonna be 46 max, and he's at 45 characters. Malix's last 300 speed, Jin's at 299 as well. So you can see there's a number of characters that I think should be faster. Like Starkiller should be faster, Padawan, Obi-Wan, absolutely. Watt, would be nice to get Jocasta or Bo-Katan faster. Bane, actually, Bane's hard to get fast without using speed mods. Hondo here, there's a number, but his modding's pretty solid overall, considering. But I think the biggest issue today is we need to play clean to beat this guy. You can see his banner total. Then down below, he one-shot all of this. He one-shot all of this. in the back territory. We did pick up an attempt with Tarkin, and then Fleet he one-shot. So I think the safe assumption is he just brought all of his firepower to offense, which means we should be able to clear this guy somewhat effectively, but we can't be dropping battles. Drop a battle, then things could get bad. So we got lower relics here. This should be a safe JMK. When did I switch to full screen? Oh, I know when I switched. Okay. I just forgot to switch back to the vertical, to the split. Okay, light side. What do we want? I think turn meter? Not in love with it. I think we just grab something. We don't have great options right now. Wait. Why is Snips here? We gotta be careful. We gotta be careful today. We don't have a lot of time. I saved this way too late. Alright, that should be fine. That looks good. Probably was in the wrong preset page. It's like audio's working, things are fine. Alright, we are eliminating Chrysanthemum. We want to be able to focus over onto Bosch quickly and early and not get distracted by what Chrysanthemum provides. Now, he's already back, but we've got a minute until he taunts, and if he's slower, maybe a little bit more time. We're not dealing with one of those annoying Relic 9 versions where we might get slowed down, and the modding seems to be more in my favor. I keep charging the ultimate. He's going to taunt in a moment. Okay, there's the taunt. But we're pretty close to being charged up. This will help. Okay. That's a full charge. I'm gonna save it. I want to ignore Chrysanthemum anyway. Okay, this hopefully takes out No. Okay, fine. Now we do it. Okay. We're just using the basics so that I can use the specials over on Jabba, dropping a shred. I think we'll do 2 quick shreds, and then we will do the healing immunity. Just completely ignoring Chrysanthemum is our goal here. We save Chrysanthemum for last. Feel like going for Bosch early doesn't work out as well. Although maybe with Relic Delta, maybe that's something that should be revisited. Although it's actually just easier to invest further into your JMK, so it's a non-issue. Because I've got lower relics on some of these characters. Wait, no, that's not true. Well, Ahsoka's at 9. She has to be. Right? Yeah, she's at 9. GK's now at 9. It's just got to boost up JMK a tiny bit. Okay, so that goes clean and fast and well. Now the question is, can I do Maz Kanata here? I'm a little concerned about doing it because I don't have a tank and I don't think I can actually win it. Did I win it last round or did I lose it? I wish I had already put that video up so I could check the... Oh, I guess I don't need to. I can just check the footage. Yeah, we did clear it in 1 with Maz Kanata, so we are definitely doing this. I want Pirate. I think I went with the level 6, even though the level 9 on Hondo is quite nice. I need to re-roll that. I didn't re-roll it because I wasn't originally, when I got the Cron, I was not using Hondo with a pirate squad because my pirates weren't ready. I gotta fix this camera. This is one of the things that got annoying in the first round match was I thought in my head I had this team on defense, so I didn't use it initially. I didn't even look for it. I just assumed it wasn't there. For next week, I'm going to be rapidly investing into Maz because of that right there. That also happened last round. It took a little bit longer for it to happen though, so I'm actually a little worried about this. Because I might be dropping this battle as a result. Yeah, like we're if we lose Hondo, we have no shot. Yeah, we lost it. Okay. Did not go the same as last round. I thought mods would be in my favor. That means we got to use Leia and hope that he doesn't have, like, some stuff on the back. Well, you know what? He's without 3 GLs. I should have considered that. I should have factored that in, because he doesn't have Ahsoka. So I don't actually need to save Leia. This is the stuff I should be thinking about. Alright. Okay. Yeah, that was... That is something I shouldn't have overlooked. We don't need to be saving Leia. Right? Yeah, let's go with that. Pull the turn meter, we cleanse. We will stealth. Get the attacks where we want them. Make sure we don't lose anybody. Can't target anybody else right now. That matters. So let's hit Vader for some decent damage, maybe. Okay, maybe we have a chance here of getting ambush on. No, of course not. I should have checked the turns. Oh, what am I doing? God, I hate it when I do this. I don't need to be playing this. I need to take out Apo, because this is turned off with GLs. That's annoying, because now we wasted the attack from Drogon. Yeah, I may have completely messed this up. Maybe I live long enough to get to the ultimate. Not feeling good though. Yeah. Yeah. Well, we've lost the match. What I need to do now, because SOCare is on defense, I can do this. I did this. I did this in 5v5. I don't know if this is gonna work here. I'm actually gonna bring in Bane, because I don't think I have to have him. Because I just want the ultimate quick. God, I'm annoyed. Very annoyed. Alright. We'll link him up. And we'll take out Apo. And hopefully CX2. I need to like tattoo this into my brain. That all this gets shut off with a galactic legend. Alright, now we've got the ultimate. And we can blow them up. Would have been nice if Bane survived longer, but we'll take it. And from here we'll auto and we'll lose Palpatine. But we can clean it up and get through it. Now we will try and look for opportunities to undersize and make up some banners. Like, what do you have here? Okay, like this, I can potentially solo with Savage if I play this right. Basic, tenacity and protection up. Maybe we save that. If you had a better Cron, maybe I wouldn't consider this, but I think this is going to be perfectly fine. Key here is we target CLS and we just go at it. I haven't done this in a long time, though. I'm a little concerned, like, well, Delta changes it, but nope, it works fine. Okay, so we make up some banners there. Okay, perfect. Do we have any other potential solos? We have Wampa available. Yeah, I think Ray's on his back wall. I think I'm actually in trouble. Because if Ray's on his back wall, then I can't clear with what I have left. I need SLKR, who I said last round I would take off a defense, and I didn't. Okay. Now, do I want... What do we have here? I didn't factor that in. I didn't even check for that. That could have been a major reason why this stuff didn't go well. Or we didn't have the wiggle room that I was expecting. And what it means is I'm not going to do something like Fennec to clean this up. It means I'm going to use somebody like Afra to clean this up. None of this matters. Here, let's do that. I like that. Okay, let's start it. I wish I still had the Wampacron. That would give me another safe solo. We can still find a spot for it, but it's not. It can't do as much this season. Like, I'm not going to do like Saw Gerrera. Oh, man, this level 6 ability is all he needs to take me out. And, it's looking like I can't beat it with this. Yeah, it's over. Okay. Yeah, this Cron changes things at level 6. But at this point, there's no harm in doing Fennec. Do I need... no, I still need Grief Karga. Ooh, wait, no, there's a Boba Fett team. The Boba Fett team is with Dengar and Zam, so I don't want to use Boba Fett. We'll have to use Sign of Jango. And then... these are terrible. These are all terrible. Oh, I can't even use a Cron anyway, unless I use this one. Not worth it. It's a little worth it. Oh my god. This Cron. Like he would... well, no, I guess Relic Delta is probably... I don't know if it's the Cron that took out Grief Karga or Relic Delta that took out Grief Karga. But I'm saving his Relic for the token, because that'll save me some Kairos, some Gear 12 Plus materials, just a bunch of little stuff. But that might mean it's a few more weeks until... actually maybe longer than that, until we get the Journey Quest to get that token. Alright, let's get serious. God, do I have to use JML to beat this? Or at this stage, could I use Bow at this stage? Or is that Cron gonna mess me up again? We're just... which... he doesn't have the basic, okay. Which is fine, but it means he can take me down to low health, which means Melgus is probably a good idea. Okay. Alright, I think I've got a rough idea how I want to play this. We're going to go with Gas, even though I don't love it. But it's probably my best option right now. Light side. Not that one. Don't have another? Oh, it's probably on defense. Support allies, no. We'll do this nonsense. It's early in a new set. All my rerolls are going to be happening later. Like after Conquest is over. This is really one of those matches where I should have planned out ahead of time, but I didn't really give myself enough time. Got an hour and 15 minutes left of this. Okay. Alright, it brings him back again. Awesome. This might be a nice little moment where we can make some progress. Right there. Right there. Okay. Now we have Finn, where we don't have Afra anymore. And we have Kelleran, which... we're going to have to do Melgus up against Kelleran. I think that's without a question my best option here. Right. Where are you at? There you go. Offense up. Tenacity up? Do any of you have tenacity? I feel like maybe. Or this one. Sure, let's take that. This one I think we could cover some nonsense. let's take a look. Barris and deal with this annoyance. Okay, perfect. Kind of. Drop a doubt. That big hit from Dark Deception. Can I get a nice little drain onto Barris? Yeah, let's hit these shacks. Why not? I'm gonna trip that stagger on Jocasta. Buy myself a little bit of time. Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, we can hit a stagger. Hit that. Drain. Perfect. Oh my god, that's right. There's a Cron. Whatever, it's fine. Did you have the Barris Cron? Definitely something I should have noticed before starting this battle. Alright, we can auto. Yeah, so yesterday Frank Geary died, who the term Starkitect basically was created for. And yeah, kind of a big one, because professionally speaking, that's what the field I work in. It's what I went to school for. It's what it's definitely one of my passions. And Frank Geary, he's one of the reasons why I even studied it to begin with. Like, the origin story for why I studied architecture goes back to in this. I think it was the 6th grade. Maybe it was the 8th grade. I think it's the 8th grade. When my cousins from Japan was visiting, he wanted to go see a Frank Lloyd Wright home, and I lived fairly close to a Frank Lloyd Wright home, and we went on a tour of it, and that was the first time I was like, oh, this house is different than the other houses. Like, houses can be like this? And that didn't really trigger it, but it planted a seed. Then I also had a neighbor who was an architect, and that later on helped a bit. But alright, how am I dealing with this? I want the cheapest possible counter. Sometimes I'll do Night Sisters, but with this combo of characters, it's a little risky. I guess it depends on speed. What are we looking at here? 238? 238. 352. That's a fast fin. 313. It's too much speed. I don't want to risk it. We're gonna do Jedi. Even though this isn't the best counter either. But it's safer. Yeah, actually I like that. Yeah, so I had those couple things. I guess, and also in my background, my grandfather who died before I was born, he was an engineer. And let's see here. So that gets, maybe there's a little interest in the blood. But when I was a senior in high school doing some campus visits, I did a campus visit to NYU, which I was completely unimpressed by. Like, unless you're going for the couple things that NYU is elite at, which is like theater, film. I think they're decent at law. I mean, I guess I haven't paid attention in a long time, so I don't know what things have changed. But traditionally speaking, those are some of the things they were good at. They also don't have an architecture program. So I went on a campus visit to NYU, and this was a little bit after my campus visit to Michigan, and it just paled in comparison to Michigan. I should have brought back my friend there, but I was talking and not paying attention. So let's hope that we didn't completely mess this up. Yeah, I may have messed it up. That may have been my chance to revive. Especially because we stole the stealth, which was a bad idea. Alright, let's go here. Let's put the buffs. Perfect. Heal. Okay. We've recovered. Alright. We'll be able to swap the strategic advantage onto somebody who can actually use it. Swap buffs. I'd love a strategic advantage onto Zori. She's gonna stealth, isn't she? Yeah, there's that. Okay. I feel like you are way too tanky of a Finn. Alright. Okay. And there we go. Alright, let's auto from here. Yeah, so NYU, completely unimpressive. Really, the only thing it has going for it is that it's in New York. And it's also not as good of a school as Michigan. So I didn't go there. I wasn't that interested after seeing the campus. But what happened on that trip is I went to the MoMA and the Guggenheim. And coincidentally, in that moment, the MoMA was having an exhibit on Mies van der Rohe, who has a ton of buildings all over Chicago. And the Guggenheim was having an exhibit on Frank Gehry. And seeing both of those exhibits, seeing the detail and all the work that they were doing on those projects, that is when it really like flipped a switch where it's like, okay, this is what I want to study. This is what I want to do. And then, you know, kind of thought about in the... Wait, is this what... okay, fine. We're going to use Bow because I really don't want to use JML. But I probably should just use JML, right? Let's just use JML. I really don't want to. I feel like at this point, Calcestis is kind of a waste. Because what is he doing? I guess he's giving me... Maybe we'll do Calcestis. Because we are getting Armor Shred, we are getting Cleanse. And we might learn some things about how powerful this attacker Cron is. I hate everything. Let's get a little turn meter, I guess. Yeah, so that shows that's where Frank Gehry falls into my origin story. We're just seeing some of his work, seeing how some of that changes how you can view some things, how things can be different and interesting. And then this just kind of developed from there. This last weekend I was in LA, I stopped by the Walt Disney Concert Hall, went up to like the garden up there. Some nice spaces. Alright, let's drop a shred. Everybody's got days, so it's all useless. Still all use. I should have saved that. I should have saved the cleanse. But we got it here now. Let's cleanse up the days from Luke. From Jedi. Well, they're both Jedi Luke. Jedi Knight Luke. Alright, we got an ability block. This ought to do it. Let's do a shred. Okay, so we cleared it. Let's check out this back wall and see if he put Rey. He's made change. Yeah, there she is. I think we're in trouble. I don't think I have a way to clear Rey now. I have to use unaligned force users, which is probably not going to work. Unless I get lucky. I don't think we're gonna get lucky. Well, I should check that Cron. Let's check this Cron, because he's been putting good Crons on his GLs. Yeah, so he's got an attacker Cron. Alright, let's dispel the buffs. I'm going to do this attack over on Exile. I'd like to trigger things here quick if I can, but I want the assist. Okay, she's triggered. Let's do this on Exile. Maybe I should have done that over on Swallow for the assist. I don't know if we are going to be surviving long enough. We're doing the protection up. I would love to throw it, but we got to do the protection up. We're at 75. Okay, we don't have healing immunity yet, which means I might be able to recover a little bit. Right here. Not the best time to use Unleashed, but I think... no, we're going to still lose Malicos, aren't we? We're probably going to lose Sirjunda. I'm going to use it. Yeah. Okay, well that's the match. We're not full clearing now. That was the Hail Mary. It's also why I didn't want to use Ahsoka in the front territory. Not Ahsoka. Why I didn't want to use Leia in the front territory, and it just shows why I needed to have SOKR off of defense. Because then, if we had SOKR, we'd have a solution. But let's just start doing whatever we can. Alright. I can nest this. Oh, and we can have fun experimenting. We don't have any more pirate crowns? Fine. Oh, wait, no, we do. I'm just gonna take it. It's useless. Alright, we're going to focus our attacks over on Nisa. No, we're not. Okay. I had the Nest Crown. I must have re-rolled it. Yeah, now I would like to go after Nisa as much as possible. Because Nisa's now the engine. What? Is my Nest Relic 7? She's gotta be. I love Nest. Come on. Alright. Let's talk nonsense. I've been watching Battlestar Galactica. Just started season 4. Kind of just crushing it. And been a great rewatch. It's been long enough where I have forgotten almost everything. I definitely forgot who some of the Cylons were. And it's been great. Just a good show. Alright, maybe I should just go after Chirpa because, no. Let's check what this Datacron is. That's fine. There we go. Now maybe we make some progress, because now the stealth doesn't matter. We can stay focused over on Nisa for the most part. There might be some timing things. No. You're not fighting Wicket. Come on. I mean, I guess at this stage maybe we can take out Wicket faster. It is feeling like that. Maybe I do want to go after Wicket. No. Come on. Don't be doing that. Okay, we need to take out Nisa because things are now getting scary. Come on. Let us do this. That ability's not doing anything for me. I need to land one of the big hits. Land a stun would be great. Oh, that was some terrible timing. The stealth is preventing the counters, which is really what's hurting. So maybe I do want to go after Wicket, because I don't feel like we're taking out Nisa. Oh my god, that dodge every time. Come on. Just stop the stealth. I do feel like we should have been focused on Wicket earlier, because it seems like Wicket's about to go down. It's just whenever we daze, they recover. We did the big hit, but we didn't get anything out of it. Come on. Come on, right here. Right there, right there, right there, right there. Counter. Boom. Okay, good. 28 seconds. Now you can't stealth. Okay, yeah. Wicket earlier. That was it. Okay. It's just we lost our counters with the stealth. That was a bigger issue than the recover and the other stuff. Okay. Aiden. There's scout, so we can't Wampa Aiden. I hate that I'm losing to this person. Okay, we have... You know what? Let's do something fun for once. I haven't done this in forever. It hasn't worked for me in a long time, but I feel like it might work up against these guys. Do I have an attacker, Cron? No. I do now, but it's on... It's not at lock-in. Alright. Oh, I like that. Let's use the first order Cron. Okay. This only works on the weak versions, and it's not even all that consistent for me anymore. Okay. What was this? Yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to do the basic, because we're reducing the cooldowns on Dark Frenzy, and I want Dark Frenzy. Right. Although I also want to have stealth. We need to be careful though with taking out these Tuscans because it cleanses them. Oh, I forgot about that. We're just gonna chunk this, which did nothing. Okay. Oh my god. Alright. Yeah. Just kind of stops working at a certain relic level. Alright, let's keep going. Imperial Remnants. Boom, boom, boom. I think I'm just going to talk about architecture for the rest of this. We haven't actually done that in a video before because it's like my niche interest. And let's just grab something. And I think one that comes to people like Frank Gear, because he's not controversial within architecture, but I think within the populace at large because of how formal his buildings are. Like the most famous one, the one that made him a star, is the Guggenheim in Bilbao, Spain. And that was a revolutionary building. Because what he was doing was he took technology that didn't exist at the time, at least within architecture. Some of it existed within plane design. He used a program called CATIA and used it for architecture to build the panels, because each panel and that curvature is customized for the specific location. I need to attack the right character. See, this is why I don't live stream, because I can't talk and play. I know you guys want me to, though. It is something I've said in a couple comments. I think in the new year, like one match a week, I will live stream. Alright. We cleared the foresight. Let's inflict some of the blight. This is some of the mechanics we were talking about earlier. We're going to keep returning to architecture in a second. Alright. How do I do the rest? You know, I don't know if this is going to work, but I'm going to do it anyway. Because I'm curious. Because I took away Sauvage, and I doubt this. I bet this requires Sauvage. And I don't have great relic levels here, but we're going to do it anyway. Because this has now turned into a fact-finding match. Oh, we can do Zuckuss. We'll do Zuckuss later, too. Alright, we'll increase the cooldowns. We got 2. 1 was guaranteed. Let's put debuffs. We have Order 66 now. I guess let's get rid of the taunt. So let's isolate. Now we can kind of ignore Scorch, at least for a moment. Basic, Land of Pain. Can we get ability block? Perfect. Increase the cooldowns. Get a little recovery and get a hit on Disguised. Why not? Alright, we'll take out Tarkin. That gets rid of a big weapon. Disguise, though, is a bit of a threat. Okay, here, perfect. Well, I guess it doesn't matter, because if we get taken out with Order 66, he's not going to revive. Thinking about moving the Isolate over to Disguised, which is why we didn't reduce cooldowns again right there. Yeah, let's just do it. He'll go down quick here. Alright, now I gotta sneeze. I think I mistimed that mute. Alright. Alright, here. What do we have left? Oh, I got Bo. Oh, I got Balin. Java will shut some stuff down. We still got a lot of stuff. Alright. I want to think about this a second. Is there any reason why... No, Zuckus isn't going to work. Zuckus won't work. There's no way he can take out both Tuscans. Can I use Zuckus over here? Not against Dash. Too many AoEs with Jedi Master. Iden. There's one. Let's try it here. Alright, we got Zuckus. We have Forlom. We have Cad Bane. We can't use the Cad Bane Crons because they're not the right relic levels. We're going to put it on anyway. Okay, let's see how this goes. So they stun me right off the bat, which is bad. And they, okay, it's over. We lost 4-1. Let's head up top and get back to the topic at hand. Let's just do this. Mandalorians. And Paz. Okay. Yeah, so you have Frank Geary. He's adapting computer fabrication into architecture, which is what is allowing him to make these designs, and also creating new modes of computer-aided design for architecture, which is completely revolutionizing the field so that he can make these highly customized buildings, like Bilbao being the most prominent one that he's done a ton of. Walt Disney Concert Hall's one. What's that word? Amphitheater. Jesus. The amphitheater in Chicago by the Bean. That's another Frank Geary. I saw one of his in Dusseldorf on a trip to Germany. He's got stuff all over. And, alright, how am I dealing with these Tuscans? Let's do Rogue One. Alright. Actually, we're not gonna do that. This isn't a great one, right? We can do Sith. We can do, not Sith. We can do Darth Revan. Old Republic, blah, blah, blah. Here we go. I can't, oh no, we can use the Iden. Okay. So one of the things you see with somebody who is as formal and different as Frank Geary, as Geary, is you see a lot of people not like the work, because people tend to have some very traditionalist ideas of really any creative field. This isn't just architecture, but you see a lot of it in architecture. A lot of people become very opinionated on architecture, and I don't think it should be any less allowed to explore its limitations. Like, the way to think about it, you know, there's kind of two different kinds of people. There's people who are very offended when things aren't conformist and don't change, and then there's people who are excited by things that change and challenge the status quo. You see this within the history of music. You see people getting really upset about jazz, about rock and roll, and then after a couple decades, it's just normal and people don't think about it anymore. You see it within film. You see it within art in general. Like Impressionism made a lot of people angry, just wanting things that will just be hyper realistic Renaissance art. And the same thing happens within architecture, where like the Eiffel Tower, you can look at the writing about it at the time. People hated the Eiffel Tower because at the time, what am I doing here? We got Sith ships with the Executor. How do we want to play this? Yeah, I think we'll play it like this. And I think we can just kind of auto most of these or not pay attention. So the Eiffel Tower, part of the reason that gets built and what happens, you see this within every technological change within, I guess it's not just architecture, you see it within other fields. But when a new technology gets introduced, there's massive change. So the technology being introduced is steel. Steel completely changes what can previously built. That's where buildings go from like 2-3 stories and suddenly we go higher because steel makes that possible. But usually how steel was being used was in ways where you don't see it. You cover it up. You pretend it's not there. What the Eiffel Tower did was make a structure out of steel where it's not hiding the fact that steel was the structural system. And that made a lot of people really upset. Steel was something you needed to pretend wasn't there. Steel wasn't something that you could see, and it was challenging up against a lot of the traditionalist architecture within Paris at the time. People hated it. And then after it was there for a while, after people became more used to steel, they started liking it. You see the same within modernism. People hating modernism. Now there's what the real issue with modernism as a movement wasn't that it's like devoid of ornamentation, is that there's a lot of bad ones out there. This happens within any field, any style, like brutalism. What am I even fighting? Radis? Okay, I think we can do Empire here. Chimera. Yeah, so what you have with the way to have good modernist architecture is you need to have an emphasis on proportion. And so all the good modernist architects like Corbusier or Mies van der Rohe, they are very stringent about proportion. That's how you make it look good. The problem is what modernism did was it was cheaper. You didn't have ornamentation. You didn't need to have as much skill. There was a ton of savings in construction. That was part of the reason it just proliferates everywhere. Because now you as a real estate owner, as a client, you are able to both have a technically stylish building of the moment and also save a ton of money. So it just blows up and goes everywhere. But a lot of people designing within that style were not doing it well. They were doing it in a fashion in which they didn't understand proportion, and so what you see is a lot of poor imitations out there that don't look very good. And all the windows, all of the floor heights, everything is just off. Now most people aren't going to be able to understand why they don't like it. They're not going to be wrong about not liking it though, because it's not really a great interpretation of the form. You can, like one place to go to is Chicago for it, because you can see the difference between like why does, I guess New York has like the Seagram's building too, but like you can look at a Mies van der Rohe building and in a modernist style that's very simple in its materials and its form, and you'll look at it and you're like, I like it. And it's because of the proportions is what you like. And then you'll look at a building elsewhere within the city, kind of same limitations on materials and stuff, and you're just like, I don't like it. And it's going to be for the same reasons. It's because the proportions aren't there. And unfortunately, you just have a lot of architects who either aren't trained in it or don't have the don't value it as much, because like it's not something that I was even taught in school. Not well. You're taught about its existence, but not like how to do it properly. That may have changed a little bit depending on the school and everything, but like you're told, we're not going to go down this tangent. There's things like the golden ratio and stuff. You have Corbusier's man, measures of a man and stuff. The Corbusian man. Anyway, so you have things coming out where people don't like the simplistic style. They want to go back to this more traditionalist, ornamental kind of architecture, thinking it's better. Not necessarily is. There's plenty of bad versions of that too. Plenty of really gaudy, terrible versions of that. Especially when it's done these days, when you don't have the expertise. You don't have the craftsmen who are able to build it properly, and you instead get these like factory built ones that where you're just putting this like applique on. That's nonsense. That's terrible. Alright, we can go negotiator. Yeah, this is a fleet. Let's take this off. Yeah, so where was I going with this topic? Yeah, so you see that within architecture, these advancements in technology that are changing things. And right now there's a new movement, maybe not new. I mean, you have some debatable. But you see those changes of how technology is impacting what is happening, and every time there's a technological advancement, there's a design advancement as people experiment with it. Computers were a major portion of that, and usually what that happens is you get a lot of very formal things. But there's some offices like shop architecture has done some very interesting things using computers, but in a less visibly formal way. I made this. Like you can also think about like in terms of music, when we start getting electronic music, you get keyboards, you get I forget the name of the pad, but you have all these equipment within music that are allowing you to do new things, and you're getting new forms of music coming out of it. And then you just have electronic music is just kind of going crazy with it initially, just doing it way too much. And now what you see within music is a little bit more disciplined use, where now that people kind of got the new technology out of their systems and they're just using the technology for its own sake, now it's using the technology more targeted, with more purpose. And now you don't even really notice how much electronic music is in pop music in general, because now it's just a little bit more seamless. You don't notice it as much, and that's going to be happening within movies is another good example. Like as soon as you start being able to do a little bit of computer technology within movies, they go nuts. They do things like Lawnmower Man. It's terrible. There's a bunch of terrible 90s movies where the technology is not there yet, but they're just doing it anyway. And then you start getting to these moments where they get a little bit better of just kind of inserting it. And now, like some of those Marvel, like the Avengers movies, like, you know, like the white suit in the Avengers movie. I think in Endgame? Yeah, in Endgame, they're wearing that, like, maybe it's like, they're walking out with a white suit, the Avengers. And it is a suit that's all post-production. That suit didn't exist during the time of filming, but it's seamless. And now we have a lot. Or no, here's a good example: David Fincher. David Fincher has a ton of computer effects in his movies, but you don't notice them at all, because what he does with them is it's things like blood. Because I forget the terms, because this is my field. You need to have your shots sync up. There's a term for this, so that you when you do your cutting, you don't notice that things have been different. And one of the things that can happen is, like, if your costume's a little bit different, your hair's in a different place, then when you're making your cuts, it starts jumping out that something's wrong because you weren't able to keep the sequencing correct. You weren't able to keep all of the little details between the different shots and the different takes to flow together. One of the things that becomes difficult is things like liquids, where something like blood, where that can move and look different between shots, that becomes very difficult in keeping that stuff uniform. So what Fincher does, that's all digital effects. That's all afterwards. He's not putting like blood as makeup. They're figuring it out in post-production. And that just kind of ups the realism. You can see it in a lot of things like Panic Room. Panic Room's a good one, where like that opening sequence where all, like, these days it sticks out a little bit more, but you can just see the sequencing of flying through, where he's making a mixture between a digital shot and a practical shot, and he just kind of syncs them up together to do some things that don't really look all that possible, but to so it's moved away from just this computer for the sake of using the computer. Now it's the computer as a tool to make what your goal is to accomplish more seamless, more effective. And the same thing's happening within architecture as well. And I've been distracted. I just don't even really want to do this anymore. But you know what? We have some data crowns and stuff. Let's see what we can do. Let's try Boba Fett here. That's something that's worth doing. Boba Fett, Zam, and who was the last one? Boba Fett, Zam, Dengar. This Cron has been good. I used it up against Rex in the previous round, and that didn't work. Rex beat me. Alright, we cleared the foresight. We didn't get any thermals. I could use some thermals. There's some thermals. Okay. I'm gonna do this. Okay. Do this. I'm gonna clear this foresight. Awesome. Hit these thermals. Throw more out there. That'll take care of Mace and give me my, what's it called? Let's put more thermals. I just want more. Because I wasn't at a level where it was going to do sufficient damage. I want ability block. Perfect. I'm going to do evasion. We'll hit thermals after this. Okay, that should take her out. That should do it. Okay, so took out Mace, no problem. We got some good Crons. Let's gotta get into this more. Alright. Dash. Hondo. Yeah, let's just Jabba this. We're gonna take out these last two teams and overpower them. And move on. And we're done with Ray. I gotta have SLKR. Vandor. Oh, the Vandor doesn't even have the Ami. Yeah, I guess the larger point I was making about Gary and a lot of this more formal work is a lot of people think they don't like something, and what it really is just they're unfamiliar with it and are uncomfortable with it. And you know, it's something that as people get more exposure, that discomfort goes away. Balin? You wanna do this, Balin? Let's just do it. Alright, we're gonna wrap up here. Okay. Get a couple hits. It's going fine. And we're over. We're done. I don't have a way to deal with Ray, and you know what? I'm gonna make you guys watch. I'm gonna make you guys see me do this time. We are taking SLKR off of defense. Doesn't need to be here. And I think what we'll do in his play. Actually, you know what? Let's put Boba Fett here. Let's make it my opponent's problem to figure out how to deal with this. Zam Dengar. Boba Fett. And that gives me another weapon on offense to not get stuck. We were able to avoid it last round, but what it seems like the issue was that this opponent had more of those level 6 abilities. He had the proper long paragraph attacker Cron. Those we did feel a measurable difference. Anyway, we got a ton of videos to get caught up on. I am going to be spending more time doing it now that I am past some work and life things. Those milestones are kind of out of the way that I'm not distracted by them, which will give me a little bit more time to focus here. So thank you for watching. Be excellent to each other, everybody. This still plays Galaxy of Heroes.